What's good, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Livewire Sports Media. This is your boy, your host on a Friday late night edition. Um, so yesterday was the meeting with the CBA, and we all know that Caitlin Clark was a part of that CBA talk. We saw on the Courtney Williams and Letitia Hyman. There was, Courtney Williams was in the CBA talks and everything like that. Now they didn't give specific information about what happened in the CBA talks, but today, as they all down for All Star Weekend, they definitely two players shed some light. Which one was Gabby Williams, who we know played for the Seattle Storm. She plays overseas for France. She didn't come over last year. She came over this year, and her main concern was that the league didn't pay enough money for players like overseas players to come into the league. In order for her to want to come, she wanted to get paid more money. Now, whether the Seattle Storm did pay her enough money to come this year, she's on the team. She's playing very well. They like top five in the league right now in the standings, but she offered a precise insight of what the league and the players are at odds over. Now, if you pay attention to her closely when she talks, she illustrated a couple of things. Now, I only got part of this video. It's like 30 something seconds, but there's the other part to it that I wasn't able to get, but I'm going to include you in also. Now, and also, speaking of that, shout out to Keeping the Vision, because in his comment section, there was three commenters that I took their information and I'm going to share it to you because it's basically what I have been saying in all of my other CBA videos. If you check it out, all of my CBA videos, I have been talking about what the league contingency plan is. And I told you this in a live stream tonight that I was going to break it down to you and give you a clear cut illustration what's going to happen. So stay tuned. I'm going to bring it to you now. I want y'all to listen to Gabby Williams first, and then I'm going to chime in a little bit.
Especially being in that CBA meeting yesterday, it's very clear that the league wants to push away all other leagues without still paying us more than those leagues pay us. Again, like it would make sense if they were paying us more here, but it still isn't the case even with the new proposals, and it's very clear now that they want to push Unrivaled out, push AU out. They want to do it as much as possible. So I think now more than ever, it's really important to push against these kinds of issues. Thank you.
So you heard what she said, that the league wants to push Unrivaled and AAU out. Now, I don't know what AAU pays their players, but we already know what Unrivaled pays because they are created by Breanna Stewart and they are created by Nofisha Carter, who are on the WNBA committee. Now, that's a conflict of interest. And to me, I think they should not be a part of the meetings. If you be a part of meetings, be an advisor, but not on the board, because you can't operate in two different leagues as owner and vice president or president, whatever the case might be. Just a conflict of interest. Also, Gabby Williams did offer about how the league has too many games in a week. They play too many games in a week, 2 or 3 games in a week. But you got to think about it. NBA players play more. You don't really play that many back-to-back games. You got to understand this. The league is expanding, not just with the 2 teams coming in, but 3 more teams coming in the future. That's 18 teams they're going to. Most likely, they're going to expand the season as well. Now, the one thing that I've been harping on about that they should be asking for is more roster spots, up to at least 13, 14 roster spots, at least 14, where you could have players go into this. If there's significant injury to top players, they could be able to balance out their roster a little bit better without having to dabble in the hardship contract situation. Also, a development league, something I have been talking about before. Have a development league. There's players out there that has came into training camp, got cut. You don't know where they're playing at right now. There's players from last year, players for the year before, and this year is going to be players next year that come in the draft. They don't get drafted, and they don't have nowhere to go to develop their skills or play or want to play basketball. To go into this and say, "Oh well, we prepare for a lockout," is fool's gold because you already behind the eight ball by you have to pay back money. You only capitalizing on one person's revenue, and that's Caitlin Clark's. If Caitlin Clark never came into the league, would these players will be talking about more money? No, I don't think they will be. But they saw what Caitlin Clark did last year and this year, and they want to capitalize on it. This is why the league is expanding to all of these teams. This is why when the Fever comes to your town, when the Fever plays at home, it's almost a sellout crowd. Ticket sales continue to go up. They 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 spike the economy for other teams as well. So now they want to capitalize on that. But you got to think about this: the old players in this league is about to be gone. They're about to be pushed out. So how much money you think these owners are willing to pay older players when they could pay younger players to replace them? It happens in business all the time. Now I'm gonna let y'all listen to what Breanna Stewart has to say, and then I'm gonna dive into really what's about to happen if they pose a lockout.
Yeah, I think yesterday's meeting was good for the fact that we could be in the same room as the league and the board of governors and that type of thing. But I think, like, to be frank, it was a wasted opportunity. Like, we could have really kind of gotten into like a deeper dive of everything, but it was a lot of fluff that we couldn't get past, and it sucks because situations like that aren't going to happen again because players are playing for different teams in different leagues, and this is the only time to have a group together like this.
Now, she said there was a lot of fluff in it, that it was a waste of time. And the only reason why, because they went in there thinking that they was going to get what they wanted. Now, let me break it down to you this way. These players, they have 40 players up there yesterday, 40 players, including Caitlin Clark. Now, we have not heard anything from Caitlin Clark or what she thinks about it. She's keeping a tight lip on it. But make no mistake, these players are going to be in a rude awakening if they decide to strike. Now, everybody say, oh, it's going to be a lockout. But guess what? There's always a contingency plan when it comes to a lockout. And I'm going to show you right now. So this person I got his name is King Perry, off for Keeping the Vision live stream comment section. And I found it very interesting because this is what I've been talking about. And um, if anybody really paid attention to this, it's going to be shocking. It's going to be in a rude awakening. Now, if y'all might have watched, I don't know if y'all follow CWF God. He has been talking about this as well. He has broke it down so many times. Nobody really has dive in and break it down in this manner as myself or him did. Because you have to you can't just think about lockout and think, oh, there's not going to be a season. If anybody has watched sports and anybody has viewed lockouts and what backup plans are, here's it for you. So King Perry said, if the WNBA goes into a lockout, don't be shocked when owners flip the table. Scabs will be ready. Age requirements. Watch them lower the bar just enough to flood the league with fresh talent straight out of college or even earlier. That gives teams the perfect excuse to rebuild around players who aren't tired aren't tied to past drama or old beefs. This wouldn't be a temporary fix. It would be a power move to reset the entire brand. Owners are looking to argue the veterans who dominate headlines and non-basketball controversies. They rather shape a new culture with rookies who just want to hoop and build their careers. It's wild, but that kind of lockout could spark a revolution. Problem is, you might lose the fan loyalty and skill depth in the process. But guess what? The owners are prepared for that. They are prepared for that. They are prepared to do whatever it takes to continue this league forward. This league is not going to cave because 40 something players decide to say, hey, oh, well, we ain't getting what we want. We're going to lock out. Some of the main players, but the main person, Caitlin Clark. If Caitlin Clark doesn't lock out, the league doesn't not lock out because they know that the league could benefit having her playing more than having her not playing. See, they don't care if the others lock out because they're not generating the revenue, the attendance that Caitlin Clark brings. So having Caitlin Clark playing in the next season is going to be beneficial. Just like I illustrated again in that context, they are prepared to bring in players. There are a lot of players that could fill the voids. Say what there's 144 players and 40 or 50 of them out. Guess what? You could pull people from overseas. You could pull people that haven't played in college last year, this year, and whatever the case might be. There's a lot of roster spots you could fill easily for players. So I think that the players and the player association need to realize that locking out might be better for them, but it will hurt them because the longer they lock out, the longer the league continues to function. And if the league continue to make money without them, that's going to be a bad look for themselves. Now, here's another context I want to bring up to you too. If if the league, if there's a strike and the franchise are going to take the opportunity to fill the rosters with young talent, these players have no leverage. Exactly, they don't have no leverage. They don't make money for the league, and the one player who makes the money, they beat the hell out of her. The league needs the league needs good young talent and solid vets who don't play gutter ball. These rich franchise owners don't care about Gabby's 4 game a week complaint. There are other players who will gladly take Gabby's place if they can come into the league and play basketball without getting hacked or assaulted. And then there's a new franchise coming in, and I doubt they are planning on investing in a gutter ball league. And I'm telling you, that is they already these owners and the board of governors already have a contingency plan in place, guys. Make no mistake about this. They have a contingency plan in place. And if you don't believe so, then you ain't paying close attention. These players sit up there in these press conference, in these meetings, and keep saying, "Oh, we have the power. We got the power in our hand." No, you don't have the power. Because if you did, you would have already had a deal in place. The fact of the matter is that these owners ain't scared of y'all. They ready to replace y'all. Soon as the season over and y'all strike, guess what's going to happen? They gonna have the 2026 season will continue because they're gonna have replacement players in place to play the game, and y'all gonna sit there be looking at home, playing in on rival, playing in AAU, playing overseas, and y'all season only what 8 weeks, 10 weeks, and it's over, and the whole season gonna come into in May, and the season gonna start without you. But guess what? The 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 league will expand a season, and it's going to affect on rival, and um it's going to affect AAU because the league could go start this season in May, or they could start it later and have it go into January, February when on rival starts. There's a plan in place. Y'all just got to pay attention to it. So, with that being said, make no mistake about it. These owners are prepared for what the players are going to do. And if these players continue to talk strike in these meetings and continue to talk, they're going to walk out because they want to get more money. They deserve more money. Half of y'all already out the door. Y'all been in the league too long. They're not going to invest in paying money to old veterans. They're going to invest more into playing in for young talent and building this league. And the main thing in that comment I took from it is rebranding the league, meaning they're going to rebrand the league for young talent and lead the charge with Caitlin Clark, with Paige Beckers, with all Juju and all of them. You know why? Because they come with less baggage. They come with less baggage, and they tired of the old baggage, and this is why they going to find a way to force them out of the league or push them aside and focus on the young talent that's at hand, because they know that a brand new WNBA is more going to be more exciting than the old WNBA. So, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this. Like I said, if you want the other me to pull up the other videos that you have now watched about me talking about the CBA, leave your comments below, and I will tag y'all with the link inside y'all comment section. Until then, this is Livewire Sports Media, the best that ever did, the best that ever was. Because if you don't know, now you know.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.